Good morning, friends. We will continue with the beautiful poem The Horses, written by Ted Hughes, the very ardent admirer of the violent nature. It was a time that was hour before the dawn when, while walking over the moors and the woods, Ted Hughes spied the horses, 10 together, standing as a megalith. And when he went past, the horses did not stir. They matched the silent night, the unmoving night, which was just about to have an outbreak of the sun. So when he was walking past, he listened in emptiness to the moor ridge, and the only sound that he could hear was the curlew's breaking sound breaking the silence, and a leaf he could decipher in this darkness, and then the sun rose silently and splitting to its core, and the clouds were flung apart. The sun made its entry. It shook the gulf open, the gulf of the clouded night, and then, with the coming of the orange and the red sun, came the visibility of a blue sky and the big planets hanging, and the poet turned, stumbling in the fever of a dream. The poet says that looking at them was like enjoying a dream. With the word dream, it very much is evident that this will be broken, this spell will be broken. With the realization of the reality of the world, this dream of the majesticity of nature and the prowess, the manliness of the horses, and just one observer, the poet, this dream would be shattered. And then he went through the dark woods and the kindling tops of the moors, and the rays came to the horses. There they stood, and there he was able to see actually it was not a megalith, it was 10 horses, giving the impression of that uniformity, of that unmoving, unstirring majesticity. But now, I begin today's lecture, but now steaming and glistening under the flow of light. So the frost that was there, it started steaming. Vapors started coming out. You must be able to appreciate the minute details which the poet is presenting of this place where he witnessed the horses. The steaming and glistening under the flow of light. The backs, the bodies of these horses, they started glistening. There was a shine, because when the sun touched their skin, they let out a glow that was a radiance from the earth to meet the radiance from the sky. Their draped stone manes. The unmoving aspect of the horses has been presented with this epithet, stone manes. So very still they were that they really are maintaining that poise of being megalithian, of being a megalith. Stone manes, the hair, the tuft of hair that was on their backs, it was stony. Their tilted hind hooves stirring under a thaw, while all around them the frost showed its fires. So the hooves are still tilted. Excuse me. The hooves are still unmoving, but there is a little bit of stir. Now, this stir, we must understand that it could be an illusion, an optical illusion, because the frost that was all around, and with the falling of the sun rays on this frost, an optical illusion has been created as if the hooves are stirring under a thaw. This lifeless imposition of the cold, while all around them the frost showed its fires, and the frost started reflecting the sun rays, and then it was split into the vibgyor, the various colors, the 7 colors, and largely the red and the yellow, that was a fiery appearance. So this fire is from the hooves. The hooves where their tilted hooves, where they are resting on the earth, the thawed frost, the thawed structures, they are sending out fires. See, there is a red on the sky with the sun. The remaining of the sky is a blue, and from earth below also are sent out spires of fire. But still they made no sound. The repetition of the still throughout the poem shows the power of the horses to stay still, even if the nature was changing its course. From the night it came to a grey structure. From the grey it turned orange and red and then blue, but the horses are still unmoving until now, making no sound. Again, the pun upon the word highlights the charismatic power of the horses. No, not one snorted or stamped. They are making no movement, neither from their nostrils nor from their feet. Their hung heads patient as the horizons, and the hung heads are as unmoving as the horizons. The horizon where the earth and the skies meet. And in between this still imaginary line are the real horses, not moving at all, staying as patient as the horizons. High over valleys in the red leveling rays. And where were they standing? They were standing high over the valleys. In din of crowded, now there is a dash. This is a poetic device to show that the scene has shifted now. The poet has had his dream broken, and now he is into the material world. He has gone past the horses and now transported into his real world in din of crowded streets. So what a contrast. Those that were still, those that were unmoving, those that were making no sound. Here the world where there are crowded streets, there is din, noise going among the ears, and the noise is endless. It can move. That was just one night, 1 hour before the dawn and at the dawn. Just 1 hour of complete stillness, whereas the world continues years over years with their din of crowded streets. The faces. There are so many faces that you cannot identify one from the other, whereas there, contrasting with this, are the image of the 10 horses. He could identify and he bears the memories of these. May I still meet my memory in so lonely a place. May I, he makes an earnest prayer to have that beautiful sight once again before his eyes. May I still meet. There is a yearning for that beautiful image, and he says that this still is alive in my memory, but nowhere I believe will I have any such repetition of the silence, of the stillness, of the unperturbedness of the giantly figures, the megalithian figures of the horses. Never, never will he see something of the same kind in so lonely a place. This lonely place has been, the beauty of this place is contrasted in the preceding lines with the crowded streets. The world is a crowded street, and the memory is a lonely place. Between the streams and red clouds, hearing the curlews, hearing the horizons endure. So he again pays a tribute to that huge, majestic image of the horses, which he saw was stretching between the streams and the red clouds. So, this is the view, it is the angle of the vision that he had of that stretching from the streams on the ground to the red clouds. And there he had the view of the horses, and where the only sound that made him realize that this was not a painting and a real life position, because there he heard the curlews, the birds breaking, the birds that are the travelers of night, and they travel a distance to declare a morning somewhere. So these curlews, and he only heard the horizons endure. The horizons, the place where the sky and the earth met, there it was enduring the weight, because the 10 horses are a megalith. So they endured. Only my memory is capable of enduring that beauty which was between the streams and the red clouds, with the sound of the curlews and with the endurance of the earth and the skies, letting the heads, the drooping heads, the bent down heads, the hung down heads of the horses resting on the sky. This poem it explains the poetic genius of Ted Hughes, for which he was made the Poet Laureate in 1984, and which position he retained until he passed away from this earth in his physical being. But we clearly can see how much this poet was in love with nature, how much he has to say about the nature that is strong, the nature that is also violent, and nature which will stay even when the crowds have vanished from the face of the earth. New crowds will substitute, but the nature will continue to have its magnanimity, its power, its stillness, its silence and the stillness. There will be the only aspect that he associates with the horses is the stillness, which gives them that megalith structure, which gives them the silence, which gives them the endurance to match the endurance of the earth and the skies. So the horses are, as I believe, are a symbol of the stillness if one can maintain in one's being, which will forever linger as a memory amid this disturbed and disturbing crowd of the world. That is all for today. Thank you.